She wasn't thinking about him until he stopped chasing. Suddenly, she couldn't get him out of her mind. That's not magic. It's psychology. Most men don't realize this, but women don't become obsessed because of gifts, looks, or sweet words. Obsession is rooted in psychology. When you understand the way attraction works in the female mind, you stop chasing, and instead, you naturally draw her in. The difference between being ignored and being irresistible often comes down to a few simple shifts in behavior. In this video, I'm going to reveal 7 psychological tricks that make a woman not just notice you, but crave your attention. These aren't manipulations. They're rooted in science, female psychology, and Stoic wisdom. Once you master them, you'll never wonder again why some men are unforgettable. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is all about helping you master attraction, female psychology, and timeless Stoic principles, so you can become the man she thinks about long after you've left the room. Point 1. The power of scarcity. Humans are wired to value what is scarce. This principle is deeply embedded in our evolutionary psychology. When something, or someone, is always available, our brain tends to devalue it. The moment scarcity enters the picture, desire intensifies. For men, this means being less available increases your perceived value. A woman who once overlooked you suddenly starts paying attention when she senses she no longer has unlimited access to your time, attention, or presence. This isn't about playing games. It's about living a life so full that you're not waiting by the phone. You create an environment where she realizes he has his own world, and I want to be part of it. Think about it. If you're always texting back instantly, always showing up whenever she calls, and always rearranging your life for her, you remove mystery. She knows you'll always be there, so her mind has no reason to chase. But the moment you introduce a healthy distance, focusing on your goals, your friends, your passions, her brain begins to notice the gap. That gap turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into longing, and longing turns into obsession. The Stoics taught, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius.
In relationships, this translates perfectly. You cannot force her to value you,
but you cannot become a man of such substance that your presence is naturally valued when it's gone. By cultivating discipline, purpose, and boundaries, you stop chasing validation. Instead, you embody quiet confidence. That confidence creates a psychological pull far stronger than begging for attention ever could. Picture this: a man who constantly messages his girlfriend throughout the day. At first, she appreciates the attention, but soon it becomes routine. She doesn't crave it because it's guaranteed. Now imagine the same man decides to invest more time into the gym, his career, or building a new skill. His texts become less frequent, not out of neglect, but out of genuine busyness. Suddenly, she's the one checking her phone, wondering why he hasn't messaged yet. She replays their last moments together, overanalyzing his words, craving his attention again. His absence created the psychological space for her obsession to grow. Neuroscience confirms that when a stimulus is reduced or removed, our brain's dopamine system kicks in, craving the lost source of pleasure. Just like someone craves sugar after a diet cut, a woman craves the presence of a man who once filled her emotional needs, but is no longer oversupplying it. Scarcity isn't about ghosting or being cold, it's about balance. When you stop flooding her with attention and redirect your energy to your own growth, she begins to feel your absence, and in that absence, desire is born. The first psychological trick to make a woman obsessed with you is simple but powerful. Value your own time. Create healthy scarcity and let her chase the presence she once took for granted. Point 2. The magnetic power of mystery. Women are naturally curious creatures. The female mind thrives on emotional puzzles, unanswered questions, and unfolding layers of personality. When a man is an open book, sharing every detail of his life instantly, there's no intrigue, nothing left to uncover. But when you introduce mystery, you activate her curiosity. Curiosity is the spark that leads to daydreaming, replaying conversations, and imagining scenarios, all of which fuel emotional attachment. Imagine you're on a date. Instead of oversharing your entire life story, you drop small hints about your passions, your past, your dreams, but you don't reveal everything at once. She goes home thinking, what else is he hiding? What's his story? I need to know more. This is not manipulation, it's pacing. You're letting her peel back layers over time, which makes every discovery more valuable. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In relationships, silence is powerful. By listening more and speaking less, you create an aura of calm and depth. You don't need to explain yourself or prove yourself. Instead, you let your actions and presence speak. That restraint creates a natural magnetism. Think of 2 men she meets. Man A talks endlessly about himself, his achievements, his opinions. She leaves knowing everything. There's no intrigue. Man B shares just enough to spark curiosity but leaves certain things unsaid. He asks good questions, listens intently, and doesn't rush to fill every silence. She leaves wondering, what's he thinking? What's his story? Which man will she think about later? Man B. Every unanswered question lingers in her mind, deepening her emotional investment. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. The human brain remembers incomplete tasks or mysteries better than finished ones. When you leave certain things unsaid, her mind keeps circling back, trying to complete the story. That's why mystery doesn't just attract, it obsesses. The second psychological trick to make a woman obsessed with you is to embrace mystery. Don't overshare. Don't rush to prove yourself. Let her curiosity do the heavy lifting. The less she knows, the more she'll want to know. Point 3, emotional roller coaster. Humans don't fall in love with comfort alone. They fall in love with emotional highs and lows. This is why people binge watch TV shows or can't stop thinking about a song. They're taken on an emotional journey. When you create moments of sakya, playfulness, seriousness, humor, depth, tension, and relief, you keep her brain hooked. The contrast makes your presence unforgettable. If you're always calm, predictable, and flat, you risk being safe but forgettable. But when you mix a light teasing with genuine depth, humor with serious ambition, calm confidence with passionate energy, you create the same effect as an addictive storyline. She never knows what's coming next, and her brain loves that uncertainty. The Stoics were not about being emotionless. They were about mastering emotions. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By mastering your own emotions, you can bring lightness when needed and seriousness when appropriate. You become the author of her emotional experience, not a slave to your moods. The third psychological trick is to create contrast. Don't just be one-dimensional. Balance humor with gravity, warmth with boundaries. Give her an emotional journey, and she'll crave the next chapter. Point 4, the power of challenge. Attraction thrives on growth. If everything is too easy, it loses value. The female psyche is wired to desire men who inspire challenge, not because they're difficult for the sake of ego, but because they push her to rise. When you are a man with standards, boundaries, and expectations, you naturally create challenge. She must earn your attention, not just receive it by default. That's what makes it precious. You don't agree with everything she says just to impress her. You don't cancel your plans every time she calls. You expect respect and consistency, and you give it in return. This isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. And women respect men who respect themselves. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Challenge isn't about playing games. It's about embodying virtue so strongly that you won't compromise it. She feels both inspired and slightly tested by your presence. A man who constantly bends over backwards is seen as nice but forgettable. A man who listens respects but also says, "No, I can't tonight. I have training early," becomes unforgettable. Why? Because he lives by his own standards. The fourth psychological trick is to be a challenge. Respect yourself, live by your values, and let her rise to meet them. That dynamic naturally fuels obsession. Point 5, social proof. Women are biologically wired to value men who are respected by others. This doesn't mean you need money, fame, or power. It means you need social proof. When others admire, respect, or even compete for your attention, it signals to her subconscious that you're high value. Humans naturally want what others want. Be surrounded by friends who respect you. Be engaged in hobbies, work, or communities where you contribute meaningfully. Let her see that others admire your qualities. Even small signals like being greeted warmly by people, being praised by colleagues, or showing you're socially competent boost attraction massively. Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." You don't chase validation, but you live with such integrity that validation naturally follows. Social proof isn't something you beg for, it's something you earn by being valuable to your community and consistent in your actions. Two men walk into a room. One is quiet, alone, looking down at his phone. The other is greeted by people with smiles, laughter, and familiarity. Which one does the woman notice more? Always the second, because the social value amplifies attraction. The fifth psychological trick is how to cultivate social proof. Be the man others respect and admire, and she will naturally see you through that elevated lens. Point 6, emotional imprinting. Here's a psychological truth. Women don't remember everything you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Attraction is less about logic and more about emotional imprinting. When you create moments of laughter, excitement, deep conversation, or comfort, those emotions get subconsciously anchored to you. Later, when she feels lonely or happy, her mind replays you as the source of that feeling. Make her laugh in unexpected ways. Share meaningful experiences, new places, adventures, or deep talks. Be present during vulnerable moments, not with words alone, but with calm presence. The key is variety. The more emotional colors she experiences with you, the stronger her brain links you as the trigger for those feelings. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." In relationships, this means giving full presence. When you're with her, you're not distracted, you're fully there. That kind of attention is rare in a world of noise. And when she feels it, she connects you with peace and value. Think about a couple who travel together. She won't remember the hotel breakfast or the taxi rides, but she will forever remember how she felt standing with him watching the sunset. That emotional memory keeps him living rent-free in her mind. The sixth psychological trick is emotional imprinting. Don't just be around, create moments worth remembering. Anchor joy, depth, and comfort to your presence, and she'll replay those feelings over and over. Point 7, the Stoic frame, unshakable masculine presence. Attraction is not only about excitement, it's also about security. Women naturally feel obsessed with men who embody unshakable presence. The man who remains calm under pressure, composed in chaos, and steady in his purpose becomes magnetic. Why? Because he offers something rare in today's world, certainty. And certainty in a man creates obsession in a woman. You don't react emotionally to every small trigger. You lead with calmness instead of panic. You act from principle, not from impulse. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being grounded. When the world shakes, you stand tall. That quiet strength is intoxicating. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you master your emotions, your time, and your purpose, you become unshakable. She feels it. She can sense that no matter what happens, you won't crumble. That frame makes her feel safe, inspired, and obsessed. A woman dates two men. One panics when plans change, gets jealous easily, and is emotionally unstable. The other remains calm when challenges appear, adapts with ease, and leads with clarity. Which man becomes unforgettable? Always the second. His calm presence becomes her emotional anchor. The seventh psychological trick is to embody the Stoic frame. Be calm, grounded, and guided by principle. When you master yourself, you naturally draw her into your orbit, and she won't want to leave it. So there you have it. 7 psychological tricks that can make any woman obsessed with you. Scarcity, mystery, emotional contrast, challenge, social proof, emotional imprinting, and the Stoic frame. Remember, this isn't about manipulation. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. A man of depth, presence, and principle.